WV Uncommon Place. This podcast is a variety podcast that houses numerous series to cover mental health, empowerment, podcast framework, and various intimate theories to get to know the hosts. Along with occasional movies reviews and dives in pop culture with our event podcast episodes. The Uncommon Place digs into bringing guests on that stories don't fit the mold and are very different. WV stands for the great state of West Virginia, and every quarter we cover something in West Virginia. Stacey and myself, JR, are your hosts, so please come along for this venture to our Uncommon Place.
Welcome back, everybody. This is JR from West Virginia and Commonplace, and we're going into my top 5 inside of the top 10 of video games, and number 5 on the list is a fighting game by Capcom. In America, it's Street Fighter Alpha 2. In Japan, it's Street Fighter Zero 2. Now, quick story real quick. This game came out CPS 2 arcade, so you know the whole deal on that. And this right here basically got me into Street Fighter Alpha heavier. Street Fighter Alpha, the first one, was decent, but Street Fighter Alpha 2 on Sega Saturn for me, and I had the Mark II edition Saturn, so I had those funny controllers. When I played it and I got Akuma, and I really played through that game is number 5 on my list because it is to this day my favorite Street Fighter game. The catalog of characters put up just a different amount of things that make me enjoy this one. Akuma on this one was pretty awesome. But the Shin Akuma, which it replaces him as a secret opponent, is awesome. Now, in this game, you have M. Bison, Akuma, Dan, Dhalsim, Zangief. Jin is on the game Rolanto from Final Fight, Sakura, which is a school version of Ryu, and a host of other people, especially Guy from Final Fight. There were so many different people on this thing that, like I said, the character development, the way that it played, and how smooth and how fluent it was on the Sega Saturn. When I moved over to PlayStation with it, that shit was trash ass. Super Nintendo version, which I have to say, even though it was probably one of the worst selling games on the Super Nintendo, it was one of these things that I pretty much enjoyed. And it was actually the last Super Nintendo game I bought in 1996. In 1996, we'll start rounding out quite a bit of different games that I played, because 96 was a big year. I made the jump from, I had the Sega Saturn, I had a PlayStation, and I got a Nintendo 64. So it brings all the stuff back around into a nutshell. So on that point, this Street Fighter is important because of Evil Ryu, all the extra characters that you get in this game, and just the Saturn version was on point. I don't think you will ever find a better version of Street Fighter. The Street Fighters or Capcom fighting games that were on Sega Saturn were a step above and beyond, and I don't know how to make history with it and make everything right, but the Sega Saturn knew how to get 2D fighters right. So on that note, this is number 5, Street Fighter Alpha 2. And I want to thank you all for listening. And I'm sorry that these are so quick, but I just wanted to throw them out there real quick, just throw out a little information, because it's a big list. It's going to be 10 weeks worth of little small shows. So we'll keep them rolling. So once again, I'm JR from West Virginia and Commonplace, and I am signing off.
Please follow WV Uncommonplace on Instagram, Tumblr, Twitter, TikTok, where we have some great content, Facebook, LinkedIn. Hit up the merch store at oncommonplace.square.site. Join the email list from the website, and rate, subscribe, and give feedback from your favorite podcatcher. And lastly, thanks for listening and tune into the next episode.